That's all I've got. So with that, I'll move on to our presentation today. I want to welcome Ann Gritzner. Ann is here from the Governor's STEM Advisory Council. She is the STEM Teacher Externship Program Coordinator. Thanks for being here, Ann, and I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Jeff, and thanks for inviting me to be here. I'm very excited to tell you about the STEM Teacher Externship Program. This is one of the Governor's STEM Advisory Council flagship programs, and we try to reach educators across the state to help educators become better educated about employment opportunities in Iowa so that they can then pass those employment opportunities on to their students. And so that's kind of what the externship program is all about. And so I have prepared a few slides here. I did link them in the chat. So if you would like to access the screen, you're welcome to do that. Can you see the slides? Okay. So basically what I want to tell you today is what the STEM externship program can do for you. So again, I'd like to thank the Iowa Association of Municipal Utilities for making this webinar possible. And if at any time you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and or you can, there'll be time for questions at the end too. So just a little information about the externship program. This was started in 2009. And since 2009, we have had over 700 teachers that have participated in almost 900 externship programs. And we've had about 200 different businesses that have participated in everywhere from hospitals to manufacturing to technology companies to municipal utilities. And so we're very excited about the program. Last summer, we had 82 externs that were placed with 65 different businesses across the state of Iowa. And basically what it is that we match a teacher with a business. And for 6 weeks in the summer, they work at that business. They are paid an hourly wage of $20 an hour. Plus they get 3 graduate credits to the University of Northern Iowa. So a teacher can make up to $5,000 over the course of the summer. And so it's a benefit to the teachers as well as to the business. So basically the benefits to partner hosts, the biggest thing that I think is a benefit to host organizations is that you get a pipeline to the teacher and all of his or her students. And so basically you're building a partnership that is going to, sorry, I didn't play the slideshow. That was kind of silly of me. You're building a partnership that will enhance the workforce. And so you actually get the ears of future workers. And I think that that's really important. Also, if you've hosted interns before, an extern is very similar to an intern, but the biggest difference is these are adults that have been in the workforce for a longer time. They are not college students. And so one of the issues that we often have with new hosts is that they don't plan quite enough for our externs to do, because these are professional educators. They are not college students. And so you get that person working in your business for the summer. The other thing is that we promote all of our sponsors very heavily throughout the program. And so you get publicly shown as a supporter of STEM and a commitment to education, both locally and statewide. And again, most of the employers will monetize the value of an extern somewhere between $2,500 and $10,000, depending on what they are having that extern do. And of course, there's benefits to the teachers and students too. Of course, building that school business partnership is very important for both the business and the students. It improves the educator's knowledge of STEM careers. It also provides an income boost to the teacher. And then of course, the teacher gets hands-on experience using the latest technology and seeing what skills are actually needed in the workplace. So just to show you a few examples of some externships, and all of the pictures that you see in the slideshow are actual teacher externs from last summer or possibly the summer before. Um, Cedar Falls Utility has been a host of externs in the past. And this is one example of an extern from Cedar Falls Utilities. This particular extern worked on creating some educational flyers and fact sheets and things about trees and insulation and things like that. I know the RECs are not a part of your organization, but they also have hosted externs in the past in a very similar capacity. This is a teacher that actually worked with the technology within the Allen McKee Clayton Electric Cooperative and updating their router system. And then this is another Cedar Falls utility extern. They actually had two separate externs the same summer that kind of co-worked on a project. And then we have a special guest here today. Kirby Phillips is actually the manager in human resources for Muscatine Power and Water, and they have actually been an extern host for the last 2 summers, and they actually hosted the same extern for 2 summers. So I'm going to let Kirby talk for a couple of minutes.
Awesome. Thanks, Anne. Yeah, we were lucky enough and really kind of new to the externship. It was we didn't have really a lot of concerns, but we didn't know what to expect. So having these types of webinars and inviting people in and having them speak about their experiences, I think really hits the nail on the head, because this program is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you all of the things that Ms. Howard has brought to MPW, and then, creating that relationship that you spoke about a little earlier is really how everything just kind of ties in together and how it blossoms and continues to this day. And next month, we're actually going to Ms. Howard's school, our human resources department, and doing some mock interviews. So it just keeps on giving to both organizations, and this relationship that we have with her is just outstanding. So I appreciate you having me speak a little bit about that today. I think Ms. Howard is just an amazing human being, one. So, but I do believe that all of the teachers who are in this externship program are wanting more out of those experiences, right? It is compensation to them, which is great. It is credits to them, which is awesome. But it's building those lasting relationships and building those connections within their community where they either live or where they work. And that's really, really important. The program and developing a connection with this program is really important. So I'm happy that there were so many people on today and can hear a little bit more about the program. You said the numbers at the beginning of the program today, and I just think it's an underutilized a program, and I think it brings so much to both the teacher and the company. It is important, though, when you're having someone on site that you do have a project or two, like you mentioned, because you are getting a professional coming into your setting, and they are going to hit the ground running. We saw that even a difference between year 1 and year 2 with Miss Howard, and she already knew everybody from the first year. Her first year with us, she was able to help us with our Customer Appreciation Day, which we invite in the entire community of Muscatine. And she was able to work with our marketing department and our human resources department, customer service, and there's really throughout the utility to build an impactful day and kind of coordinate all of the efforts going into something that was really successful and a milestone for our utility for sure. She also helped with a recognition program that we have every year, and she got to come back and help with that in year 2 and just brought so much more to it all. She brought the fun from the classroom that she experiences and some of the things that she rolls out with her students as well, and brought that to our utility. We had introduced a game at one of our programs, and it was through a program that she uses at the school. So just very, very cool to be able to have a relationship like this with someone who is involved with the students in our area and someone who can help you also build a pipeline for, maybe future employees, for example. This past year, I thought her impact on our utility was most substantial in the fact that she met with a few of the SMEs in our utility and built specific curriculums that we could take from the SMEs could take to the schools from K through 12 experiences and teach them a little bit about the items that we have here at the utility. Like, where does their internet come from? She built things around how basically making mac and cheese is like how you create your energy, and making it something that's relatable to the student, and who doesn't love mac and cheese, right? And just really made it fun for them, and then taught our folks here that are cable installers, or our engineering, or our maintenance mechanics at our power plant, teaching them to go out and taking what they know and the amazing things that they do and putting that into the schools. So it was her passion in action, I suppose. And it was just really a magic potion for a great success that we continue to use today. And in fact, on Friday, I'm meeting with some more teachers on how we can continue to roll this out into our community. So we like that branding. We like being community focused and community bound. And Jessica, Ms. Howard, really helped us, in those efforts this past year. So I know not all of them are the same. I went to the externship wrap up in Ankeny last year and got to hear about all kinds of experiences that all of the teachers had, and they were absolutely amazing, and they were all unique to themselves and to the company or the utility that they assisted with. And I just really think it's impactful to the teacher. And again, it creates that relationship. It can create that pipeline for future employees, or even branding, or just getting the name out and supporting your community like we do here at Muscatine Power and Water. And having Ms. Howard on to help us with all of those initiatives was really great the past 2 years. So I'm a full supporter of the program. And, I asked at the wrap up if there was a year 3. I'm not sure. I didn't get a final answer on that, but we understand if her magic powers get used in other places too. So this is a really great program, and I hope just more and more people are able to take advantage of that and seize that opportunity, and just really make a difference with somebody who has such a passion like these teachers do.
Well, thank you very much, Kirby and Muscatine Power and Water, not only for hosting an extern, but being willing to come here and talk about it as well.
You bet.
So as Kirby said, the impact on the teachers is huge for this program. And post-externship, STEM teachers change the way they teach quite often. They feel that they are much better to advise students about STEM job opportunities, particularly locally in their area, and particularly with the company that they've externed with. And so that's always a great benefit to a company, is to have a teacher that's singing your praises and saying, hey, you should go work for this company because you have the skills that they need. And a lot of people, might see a municipal utility and think one specific job, but they don't realize that those utilities have a variety of different jobs involved in them. And I think the teacher being right there in the experience gets to see all of the behind the scenes people that make a municipal utility work. They also increase their inquiry-based instruction, and also how to supervise students actually doing research projects versus what we think of as more traditional, lecture test variety of instruction. And so there is a huge benefit to the teacher. If you choose to become a host, basically what we ask of you is we ask you to identify a hands-on project of some sort. And what we often tell people is, everybody's got a list of projects that they want to get done. And, we're probably not looking at 1, 2, 3 on the list. We're probably maybe looking more down 7, 8, 9. What's on your list that you haven't had the manpower to get done, and hand one of those projects over to the extern to tackle. As you said, these are instructional professionals. And so if you have something that you're looking to instruct the public about, or instruct your team about, or even, as Kirby mentioned, when you draw it back to the schools, these are people that have a lot of instruction background. And so we look for you to assign them to an actual project. We like them to get an overall view of the company, but we also like them to have a project that's kind of their own. The other thing is that we like the externs to be involved and be contributing members of the team. So we're not looking for a babysitting service here. We're not looking for you to just, tour them around the plant for a day or two. We're looking for you to involve this person in your team for 6 weeks. You need to identify a point person that will work with the extern, and also there's a mentor that is involved in this process, as well as me as the project coordinator. And so we always like to have a point person that's kind of our point of contact that will be working with the extern. And although the extern may, work their way around the company and work with lots of different people, we do like to have one person that's identified as a point person. And just keep in mind that this is a full-time professional development experience. So you're talking 200 to 240 hours is what this extern needs to work. So, make sure you have enough to keep them busy, and that you understand that expectation, that again, this isn't just a couple hours a day. This is a full 8-hour work week for 5 to 6 weeks. And you can build that schedule anytime you want. It just has to fit for the teacher and the place of business. For example, maybe they have a vacation that's already scheduled, and so they might work for a few weeks in June and then take a week off and come back and work the remaining time in July. It can work anytime from the time the teacher's done with school to the time the teacher has to go back to school. And so again, that's totally up to the business and the teacher to work out the schedule. Hosts are encouraged to cost share. The cost of placing an extern in a business for 6 weeks is about $6,000. And most of that money goes right to the teacher, or to pay for the graduate credits that they get through UNI. We do like a cost share of $3,000. However, right now we have an IEDA energy grant, and that energy grant will cover any extern that's placed in an energy sector business can apply, or not even apply. We've already applied for the grant, and we have, I think it's 22 spots left to fill. And so there's a lot left to fill. So we would definitely hook you in on that IEDA energy grant if you are interested. And if you the externship qualifies for that IEDA energy grant, then there is no expense to you whatsoever. And after the grant is done, we do work with businesses, because we never want money to be the thing that keeps you from participating. And so we are very flexible on that donation. It is a tax deductible donation to our community foundation, but don't let money be the thing that prevents you from signing up, because we will work with you to find other funding to source that. And then the Iowa STEM Council picks up the other $3,000, and we are legislatively funded to help us do that, to bring these experiences to teachers. So if you're interested in becoming an extern host, the thing that you can do is you can either contact me, and I put my email here and my phone number, or you can go to our website and you can apply. If you still have questions when you go through the application process, one of the first questions is, hey, I'm ready to commit, or hey, I'd like more information. And you can follow the application whichever way you want, and that will get your email to me, and I will reach back out to you. And if you need help figuring out what project to have your extern work on, or how many hours a project's going to take, or anything like that, I am more than willing to sit down and talk with you about that, either face to face, by Zoom, by phone, whatever works best in your schedule. And so I am here to help you with any of those things. So that's a lot of information thrown at you. So does anybody have any questions for either me or Kirby? Nobody. It's a quiet group.
I've got a question to start off. How competitive would you say is this process?
Well, it's kind of a delicate dance because we have to have the right extern with the right skills located geographically close to you. And so from that, it can be pretty competitive. The one thing that I would say is, you know, you live in the communities that you serve for the most part. And so quite often you are more aware of the educators that would be a good fit in your neck of the woods. And so you can always approach the teacher and say, hey, we'd really like you to be an extern with us this summer. Hey, here's the deal. You know, you get paid, you get to work with me all summer, you know, and have them apply and put your name as their partner, and you apply and put their name. And then that makes my job worlds easier. Now, what we do is we tend to recruit the businesses first. And then when I know that I have a utility in Muscatine, I will go after teachers in Muscatine that I think would be a good fit. And we would target administrators within your service area and things like that to try, you know, we'll try our best to get a teacher. I'm not saying that orphans, that's what we call a business that doesn't get an extern. Orphans do sometimes happen, but we try very hard not to make it to get everybody placed. But again, you can do yourselves favors by kind of handpicking a teacher too.
I have a question. I guess it's clear from the Cedar Falls example that we can host more than one intern if we choose to. Okay.
You can, it would just depending on the IEDA grant and how many externs we get placed. I can't guarantee that we would be able to cost share both of them for your organization. I mean, if we have spots, yeah, sure. But, you know, we would give priority to everybody getting one before we start funding multiple externs.
Sure, makes sense.
I've got another question. I personally am probably gonna apply for an intern here at IAMU. And one of the questions, I'm sorry, extern, not intern, extern. One of the questions I have is, can me and another person here split the intern's time? For example, I have a project that's about 3 weeks. Can I have them work with me for 3 weeks and then hand them off to another on-site point of contact?
Somebody within your same organization?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, externs, we like externs to get a wide variety of what your organization actually does. And so definitely, if they finish one project, yeah, find them another one. And the more exposure they get to your organization, the better off they are in the long run, and the more they can take back to their classrooms.
I have another question too. How strict are you guys on the STEM definition? Like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if I would necessarily consider like networking part of STEM, but how fast and loose can we be with the term STEM?
Well, again, we're looking to expose the teacher to STEM careers. And so when you think about it, just by the nature of your industry, pretty much everything you do is STEM related. So whether or not the extern is engaged directly, we like it as much as possible for, like, we like a biology teacher to go out and be doing biology. I mean, that would be the ideal thing. Or, you know, somebody who teaches advanced manufacturing to actually be on the floor doing manufacturing as much as possible. But we also understand that we want this to be of benefit to your business. And, you know, maybe there's not 200 hours worth of that kind of work for them to do. So, but anytime that they are seeing the inner workings of your industry, that's going to be beneficial to the teacher, if that makes sense. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. I have a question for Kirby. How why was it important for you guys to be a part of this program?
I think that just being within our community, Miss Howard teaches in our area. She doesn't teach here in Muscatine, but she lives here in Muscatine. So it's important for us to be integrated pretty heavily within our community, and that those ties to the schools. We had already done a bit of grassroots. Summer schools will open up a hydrant near the school, and they get to meet some of our water crews and stuff. And but we wanted to be integrated more than that, and making these connections are actually part of a strategic plan that we have starting next year, and just really, really building a pipeline, building our brand, building the knowledge of what all the things. I think Annie mentioned it earlier, like some people don't know what a utility does, all of the different jobs that are included within the utility. And I think our folks do pretty amazing things here. So it was important for someone else to kind of get that exposure to us at a different level, not at an employee level necessarily, but someone who could take that back and go, okay, I want to work with my kids so that they know there are these other jobs out there too. So it kind of came full circle with us with Miss Howard, and just getting that back into her community, and then us also helping her kids out, and giving them a look behind the curtain too on those things.
That's a great answer. Oh, go ahead, Ann.
Can I ask a question of Kirby too? How did you hear about the externship program?
It was actually at our director level. I'm not sure, it didn't come from IMU. We're pretty heavily involved with IMU as well, and it was actually rolled down to us, and in our human resources department, since we're in charge of the staffing, and we run our internship program, and thought paralleled really well with that. And it does, but it just is more than that. It is a different caliber of an individual that's coming, and it is similar to it, but it's just so much more.
Yeah, my yes and to those answers are, when I'm talking to members, I'm hearing a lot that people are having trouble with hiring people, different workforce issues. The pipeline isn't as big as it used to be, or it's harder to get people to work at the utility. It sounds like a great way to develop your workforce pipeline to participate in this. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm thinking about getting it into extern. So.
Well, if there's no more questions, then I look forward to seeing your name come across my desk as applicants, or as an email that you want more information.
Awesome. And can I throw your email in the chat there too? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Ann and Kirby. Thank you so much for being a part of this webinar. We really appreciate it. And you'll be hearing from me in the future. So thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Ann.
All right, take care, everyone.
Hey, Kirby, if you stay on for just a minute, I'll talk to you about that year 3 thing.
Okay. Happy to.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
So generally, we don't place the teacher for year 3.